Hello, I'm Heidi with Stamp Like a Princess and welcome to my video. For today's project we're going to be making a flour sack towel with an image that we have stamped on transfer paper and ironed that image onto the towel. These make great gifts for the holidays or for any time of year as a housewarming gift or anything. So let's get started. I'll show you the supplies that you need. Now, first of all, we're going to be using, this is what we're using. It's called Leslie Riley's Transfer Artist Paper. And I could not find this at my local craft store. I had to order this online on Amazon. But it's a wonderful product. It says that you can iron on things on virtually any surface, on fabric, paper, wood, glass, canvas, or metal. I've only tried it on fabric so far. I haven't tried any of the other mediums. So this is the product that we're using, and you may want to practice stamping your images on cardstock or plain paper before, because you don't want to waste your transfer paper. So I practiced, this is my image that I stamped. I practiced a little on just cardstock before I brought in the real transfer paper to experiment with. So let's get started. I'll show you the supplies you need. Okay, we're going to be using a Happy Thing, which is a stamp set available during Sale-A-Bration with Stampin' Up, which runs from January 6th through March 31st. And with any $50 purchase that you make of Stampin' Up products, you can get this stamp set actually free. And it's really fun. It's got two little sentiments and a bird and a lemon. So I've had fun making other projects with this stamp set. I'm also using the Everything Eleanor stamp set for the swirls, and this is available in the regular Stampin' Up catalog. Okay, so to get started, you want to cut your transfer paper in half longwise. So I cut it at 4 1/4 inches so that I have a long strip. And we're going to go ahead and get started stamping. I'm using Memento ink because we're using our Blendabilities markers, and the Memento ink works best for that, for those markers. Okay, so we're going to ink up our ink pad, or stamp I should say. We're not going to ink up our ink pad. We're going to stamp our image straight down and straight up. Okay. Now when you're doing your images or stamping, you want to make sure that you don't use any words for these, because the iron-on does it backwards. So unless you have a mirror image, you'll want to do it. Avoid words, unless you can also print things out on your inkjet printer, which will work. Okay, so I just want to make sure that I leave enough room for my bird in the middle. Let's go ahead and get him inked up and on there. Sorry about the background noise, if you can hear it. And let's just put our bird right about here. Okay, great. Now I'm just going to color him in with our Stampin' Blendabilities markers, and I am using, for his beak, I'm using the lightest Pumpkin Pie. So I'm going to go ahead and color that in. If you haven't used the Stampin' Blendabilities markers, there's also an opportunity to earn a set of these free as well during our celebration. With every $50, you can earn a free set. The lids are quite difficult to get off, but that just makes them stay nice and moist and not dry out. Okay, I'm just going to color my little branch in. Alright, now I'm ready to color my little guy in. Oh, and he's splattered. We're just going to leave it. You can do any colors you want on this guy. I just chose yellow and blue for this project, but I've done coral and different reds. He's a fun little bird to color. Okay. If you haven't used these for blending, they're great. I'm not going to use them to blend as much on him for this project. I don't know that they blend quite as well because there's an adhesive on this paper that makes it iron on, and I just don't want to risk it. But I also have used Stampin' Up markers, and those work as well. Okay, we're finished, and we're going to go ahead and move to the iron, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, now we're ready to iron our image onto our towel. And the towels that I'm using, I just picked these up at Walmart. So they're just flour sack kitchen towels. And they were, I'm pretty sure they were 4 for $4 for a 4-pack. So here's my image. I'm going to grab my towel and lay it out on my ironing board. I like to give it just a little press in the middle where my image is going to be, otherwise it can wrinkle your image, which I've had happen before when I iron it on. So we're just going to press the general area. You don't have to press the whole thing. When you're ironing, you want to make sure that your iron is on the hottest heat setting and no water is the important part. So it has to be a dry, hot iron. And the directions are on Leslie Riley's transfer paper, so if you forget, it's okay. Okay. Now you're placing your image upside down. You can tell this side is gray compared to this side, which is white. So our image is upside down, and I'm going to bring up my ruler. I like just to make sure that it's centered. So about 10.5 inches on that side. That was pretty dang close. That was dumb luck. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and iron our image on. So if it's a large image, I would recommend using painter's tape or something to hold it down. Since this isn't a large image, you can just put your iron directly over it and it'll start to adhere as the glue, as the adhesive heats up. And I just iron over it in just let it sit for a few seconds in a spot and move on. You can't really do this a wrong way. You can under iron it and you'll know if it's hard to peel up that it's not, the image hasn't transferred yet. So once it's all hot and transferred, it peels up really easy. If you're having to pull at it, then it's not down yet and you want to just apply more heat. The instructions say that you cannot over iron this, so that's comforting that you can't really burn your image. Okay, I think it's just about done. We're just going to let this sit a tiny more. Make sure you get all the corners. Oh, I forgot to mention I did trim my paper down also a little, just so that I didn't waste that extra transfer paper. Okay, I think we're done. I'm going to start peeling it off. You know, it didn't give all the way, so we're going to hit this corner a little more. Okay, now we're going to try it. Oh, it comes off nicely. So we're done. So my only suggestions before gift giving, it is just a tiny bit stiff where your image transferred on. So before giving it as a gift, I like to run it through the washing machine. I add soap. I don't do anything special, just run it through a normal cycle, and I also throw it in the dryer. When it comes out, it's very wrinkled, so I like to iron it before I give it as a gift. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial, and check out my website, www.stamplikeaprincess.com, and email me with any questions. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.